So anything which is wasted, any cellulose which is wasted can be reused and redrawn.
So it's like the fibers, it's the outside of the tree, for example, it can be bamboo, it's cooked, they make like a viscose out of it, and this viscose is being made to a thread, which later on is then something that you can wear, or you can weave, or you can knit it.
Yes. It can be bamboo, it can even come from paper. Yeah, anything which is cellulose.
And Dr. Hundekar, do you also know certain fibers which you would say are like the new coming technologies which could be called green, maybe more sustainable than those which are grown natural, like natural textiles, cotton, or silk?
As said by Dr. Shiva, modal, but with that, bamboo is towards very much again, it falls under green passion because very comfortable. Although bamboo has got, certain drawbacks, like its wet strength is very low. But if we could combine that, with cotton or any other fiber, then we would really, use it in a nice way. Now there are a lot of silk varieties. Like earlier it was, we have to, it was a practice of killing moths. But nowadays, at Tassar, Tassar, we used to have moths which were already, the killed moths we used to use. But now there are fibers which are there in the stalk of that cocoon and attached to the tree. So in those stalks you get fibers, and those fibers are being used to weave a very pretty fabric. At the same time, like definitely handspun, handwoven. Again, getting a lot of importance because it has that, hairy structure and very open structure, which actually, the air trapping becomes very easy, and that is why the fabric is becoming more and more comfortable. So even such kind of fibers are coming up in the market, and they have been accepted by, many exporters too. Thank you.
So this is one side then, making fabrics out of different materials, which we are having. The next step is the finishing. I think there's a finishing process. We have some woven fabric that is white, and it is there, and except for the waist, this is already there, and it is colored. But then the fabrics, they have to be colored, and they have to be dyed. And what I read and what I saw is it's horrible conditions how these things are dyed actually. In Tirupur, in Tamil Nadu, beginning of the year, there were 700 dyeing houses, they were closed. The High Court of Chennai said zero discharge, it's too much. All the farmers which are living near these dyeing houses, they had so much pollution in the rivers that they could not farm anymore. All these chemicals and all these residues were going into the river. People were poisoning themselves, they are staying in the bleach, and what I learned is their life expectancy is 35 years. So all the major companies which are exporting, I could name a few, it's H&M, it's CNA, it's Zara, Mango, how they're all called, we all know them, Tommy Hilfiger, etc. They're all producing in Tirupur, selling under very nice brands actually. We have very nice showcases when we come to Germany, when we come to England, you have the malls everywhere here, and they are laughing models, etc. And they are selling things where people are dying for, right? So they have to dye these things, they get cancer, and the residues, they remain in the clothes later on as well. How can this be, is the question. Is it the ignorance that we are facing? Is it the ignorance of the people? Is it the ignorance of the producers? I would like to ask Mr. Kothari again. What do you see when you are choosing how you produce something and how it is dyed? How deep do you go into the process of understanding how the raw material is produced, under which conditions? And is it possible at all to understand it? And if for you it would be possible, why is it not possible for the big players there?
I don't know if I'm the right person to answer this. For me, I don't think it's possible. Right? my background is not in fashion. I'm an engineer by profession till 2 years ago. But that didn't stop us from doing something which we thought was building on top of all the work that is being done out there. So there's a lot of grassroots movements, there's a lot of NGOs who work with the farmers, who work with the dyeing companies as well. There's all these certification boards which kind of promise us, or are supposed to promise us, that what the factories are doing is correct. Right? Dr. Siva has a PhD in this. There's so much to know about this field. I think as a layman, it's not possible to know and keep up with all of it, even as a company. As an end consumer, if you start naming the chemicals which are affecting you, which are on the clothes you're wearing right now, it's scary and depressing. So the approach we've taken is we trust the people in our supply chain, not just based on certificates, by talking to them and being as transparent as we can in our brand, and hoping that they are doing what is correct as well. Hoping that they do what they started out wanting to do. They're not only doing it for commercial reasons, but there's enough people in India especially who are seeing the problem and are trying to fix it. So there's several cotton mills who've switched over from conventional cotton mill to 100% organic and fair trade cotton mill. So we try to find these people, we try to support them, because the technical details are overwhelming for us.
Then I asked Dr. Shiba, who is an expert in this and who is also working with the big companies, with the big players who are out there, who are making millions and millions of euro, dollar, crores of rupees actually. Do you see a change in our society these days? Do you see a change in the big companies turning to more green technologies? And what are the issues we are all facing with the chemicals that are used? What is the harm actually? And how can we tackle it?
4 years before, I think, REACH was the term which was coming into the picture. Earlier it was German ban, which everyone talked about the RSL issues of the 23 amines which were banned by Germany and which were made into the dye stuffs, which were about 300 colors, which are about 300 which are about coming into the picture. Then the REACH became the buzzword. The facts why REACH has become the buzzword is because not able to hear now. Yeah, the fact that why REACH has become a buzzword in the industry, in the technical industry or the dyeing industry, was the milk from the mother was containing about 39 harmful substances which mother have never taken. The blood of the senator from UK, not just one, 90 senators were tested, and the blood was containing about 13 chemicals. In an average UK house, the dust was tested. There were about 33 chemicals which were tested positive. So you are in it, even though you are using or not using. The polar bear is containing so many harmful chemicals where you don't know there is no chemical industry existed in polar bear. In the northern pole. So it all has an effect. We are using the colors, we are using the producers, not just colors. Why color? The milk which we drink. It is all about it is our psychology that milk, if it is not white, we will not drink. Isn't it? In the supermarket, when I place 14 milk bottles, if there is one milk bottle which is not as white as the other one, we will not take that. So it is, for me to sell it, I have to add OBA into the milk. So imagine there are OBAs which are added to milk which is fat soluble. So in everything there is chemical. Now the question is, what is safe, what is not safe? Now the point again comes back is at what dosage. Even water is unsafe at a particular dosage for a human being. So there is nothing called safe, there is nothing called unsafe. It is all depending upon the dosages. So that's where people like us or the chemical people have come and started putting some norms for each and every individual brands. That's how the district